If you look at the headlines coming out of China this week, you'd think the future has arrived. China is rolling out humanoid robots at a Vietnam border crossing in Guangxi. This is the Walker S2. It stands about 1.6 meters tall, it walks on two legs, and it's packed with the kind of sensors usually reserved for self-driving cars. But before we get too impressed by the cyberpunk aesthetic, let's talk about where this robot is actually standing. Imagine the busiest, most stressful TSA checkpoint you've ever been through in the US. Now remove the air conditioning, triple the crowd size, and add 90% humidity. That is the reality of the Fangchenggang border crossing. And local authorities have decided to manage this chaos by deploying a delicate, expensive machine that was originally designed for much cleaner, more controlled environments. Today, we're going to break down why this is happening and why, from an engineering standpoint, it may be a poor fit for this environment. Wearing a tuxedo to a mud fight. Let's look at the specs. The Walker S2 is an incredible piece of hardware with 52 degrees of freedom. It uses harmonic drive gears, incredibly precise, expensive components used in manufacturing arms. But here's the problem. Harmonic drives are allergic to shock and grit. If a tourist trips and falls into this robot, or if the fine dust from border trucks gets into those joints, those gears will grind to a halt. Think of it like this. It's like driving a Formula One car to go grocery shopping. It's an amazing machine, but it is completely wrong for the environment. In the US, Boston Dynamics built their famous Spot Dog robot. Notice what they did? It has no hands. It's low to the ground. It's rugged. It's built for work. China's approach is the opposite. They built a robot that looks human because the goal isn't necessarily efficiency, it's image. The battery anxiety reality. Then there is the issue of power. Humanoid robots are energy hogs. Keeping a heavy torso upright requires constant micro-adjustments. It's fighting gravity every second. The Walker S2 has a battery life of roughly 2 hours. Border guards work 8 to 12-hour shifts. This means that every 2 hours, this guard has to abandon its post to go swap a battery. Imagine if a TSA agent at JFK Airport had to take a 15-minute nap every 2 hours while the line kept growing. The entire system would collapse. So why do it? Why not use a robot on wheels that lasts all day? What locals are saying. This is where it helps to look at how people on the ground are reacting behind the polished headlines. I was reading comments on Chinese social media about this deployment, and the locals aren't buying the hype either. One top comment on Douyin joked, "Great, now I have to wait for the robot to reboot before I can cross the border." Another user pointed out the darker reality. They have money for these robots, but they cut the pension for the actual border guards. Critics describe deployments like this as face projects, mianzi gongcheng, meaning initiatives that emphasize appearances and prestige. In China, local officials need to show Beijing they are modernizing, so they rush to deploy these robots to signal modernization and align with national robotics priorities. Ubtech cites major names like BYD and NIO, but not every announcement equals guaranteed revenue. Some are confirmed orders, others are pilots or cooperation framework, so the real signal is repeat deployments and delivery milestones. Just like the ghost cities we've covered before, these are often empty metrics designed to pump up the industry image rather than solve real problems. So when you see these viral clips, don't think of Terminators. Think of them as extremely expensive, relatively fragile demonstration projects. They do play a monitoring role, but they also serve to showcase that these systems can be built, even if current battery technology limits their operating time. But what do I know? I'm just a panda. Make sure you're subscribed, then click here for the next one.